So we'll be conducting the class for your periodic algebra exam for grade 7. Remember that if you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section. I'm trying my best to upload as many videos as I can, but I'm currently training, so I don't get the time. So let's start. Please don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends so they can also get as much information and material they can understand from these videos. So now convert 3.24, let me zoom in. So convert 3.24 into a ratio of two integers. Remember, there is no repeating decimals that will come ahead of this. So the concept here is about decimals and converting that into integers. In here, what will you do with 3.24? When you have 3.24, you can understand that every decimal, every whole number can always have a 1 at the bottom. An integer is a fraction or a whole number. So that's what we're trying to convert this into. And they told you here that it needs to be converted into a fraction. Now what will you do? You multiply here by 100 and you multiply above by 100. So when you multiply above and below by 100, what do you get? You get 324 over 100, right? Now, I always tell students the divisibility rules, once you have memorized them, they'll help you in the longest way possible. And they help you the most right now because what will you do? They're big numbers and you want to quickly solve them, right? Because you have other questions in the exam that are more difficult. So here, I can clearly see because here it's 24 and here's 0, 0. Both of the numbers follow the divisibility rule of 4. What is the divisibility rule of 4? Is that the last two digits need to be in the multiplication of 4. So which they are. So 24 is in the multiplication of 4. So let's divide it by 4. I'll show it to you on the screen as well. So 324 divided by 4, you get 8 first. We have 32 at the bottom. You subtract them. You bring the 4 down. We know that that's 1. So 4 minus 4 is 0. You do the same thing. So let's write the numerator above here. Let's focus on the denominator now. Let's erase this just to have some more space. Now what is happening? You will be dividing 4 by 100. Now when you divide 4 by 100, what happens is that 4 times 2, you know the closest number, and the number that is, the closest number to 10 will be 8. So you subtract them. 10 minus 8 is 2. You bring the 0 down. Then you get 5 up. So 20, right? So 25 at the bottom. So that is the new number 25. Then you write here 81 over 25. 81 over 25. You can also apply different divisibility rules, like you can apply the divisibility rule of 5 if you want to check further. So if these rules are in your head, you can quickly check. What is the divisibility rule of 5? It says that above and below, the numbers need to end in either 5 or 0. Okay? So we know that 25 ends in 5 but does not end in 0. And 81 does not end in either 5 or 0. So we cannot apply it here. So at the bottom we can divide by 5 because it ends in 5. But above we can't. Okay, so we'll just remove this. Let's go back. Now the next thing we're going to solve here is the repeating decimals. So 0.878787. Now there's some questions that my students usually ask them, and I will be answering them along the video. So it will be easy for you as well because you may have the same questions in your mind. So this is something that, it's beneficial in these videos. So 8787. Please don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. So here, what happens is that you want to move the decimal point to the right. Why? Because there is one digit. There is one number that you're going to get that is not repeating. So that is, first let's say that it's x. So let's remove that 1 second. Let me do it from beginning. So here we'll say that this one is x. There's a decimal point. I want to move that to the right. I'll multiply here by 10. I'll multiply here by 10. So whatever you do on one side, you do it on the other side as well. So it becomes 10x is equals to 2.878787. Right? So this is the numbers that are repeating. Now what is the goal of this question is to remove the repeating decimals. If I just subtract 10x minus x, you'll be stuck with dealing 8 and 2. You'll be subtracting these two numbers together. You won't be getting rid of the repeating decimals. That is the goal of this question. So that's why the next step is very essential. What do you do is that either you can multiply here by 1000. You can multiply here by 1000. So you'll get here 1000x. Okay. Sorry, 1000x. And then you get this as 287 point. Okay, you can do it this way, 8787. Now you can clearly see when you subtract them, when you subtract these two together, you'll be getting rid of the repeating decimal number. There you go. That's the goal of this, and we reached it. So now if we're subtracting these two together, we'll be subtracting these two together as well. So what is 1000x minus 10x? So it will be 990, right? Subtract them, you'll get them easily, 990x. Don't forget the x. And then when we are subtracting the other side, you'll get 285. 285, right? So keep that in mind. And then what will you do? Just simplify. X, you will be getting 285 over 990. Remember, let me remove all of this and let me write 285 over 990. Okay? 990. Now, again, what can you see here? That either you can divide this by 5. Why? Why can you divide this by 5? Because 285 ends in 5 and 990 ends in 0. So the numbers, this is the rule of divisibility by 5. You can always do this. So, and let's try it. 285 by 5 gives you 57. And 990 divided by 5 gives you 198. You can do this another way as well. You can take the divisibility rule other ways as well. I'm just trying different ways so you can memorize the divisibility rules as well. So now what happens? Let's try 3 or 9 because 9 is the same rule as 3. You'll add the digits. So 5 plus 7 gives you 12, but that's not in the divisibility rule of 9. So let's check for 3 now. So 5 plus 7 is 12, right? And 198, 1 plus 9 plus 8 gives you 18. So these two numbers are in the multiplication of 3. So it means that clearly you can multiply this by 3. So 57 divide by 3. You get that as 19. 19. And at the bottom, 198 divided by 3, you get 66. Right? So this is your final answer. Even when now if you add them, 9 plus 1 is 10 and 6 plus 6 is 12. So 9 plus 1 is 10, so that's not in the divisibility rule of 3 or 9. So this is your final answer. Okay? Either you can also do this when you get to 85 over 990, you can directly divide this by 9. Because when you add them, 2 plus 8 plus 5, you get 15. No, you cannot divide by 9. You can divide by 3. Because above, you will be getting 15. At the bottom, you will be getting 18. Both of these, again, are in the divisibility rule of 3. But I prefer that whenever you have a larger number, you can divide by a larger number like we did with 5. That makes the number smaller faster. So you can deal with it faster. Let's go. So that is 19 over 66. Let's go to the next one. Now here, what is something different here? In that one, the number that you were trying to get into the left side of the decimal was a whole number as well, right? So you have to do 2 steps. What will you do? How will you do this one now? So what will you do here is that, the last one was 3 steps. Then now you will do 2 steps. So it's 1.454. What do I mean by 2 steps now? Is that here, this is x, right? Now, this digit is already on the left side, so you don't have to do the previous step that we're doing, multiply by 10. Here, what will you do? You'll just multiply here by 100. You'll directly multiply it by 100. Why? Because I want to get these repeating decimals on the left side, right? To remove them. So 100x, to remove the extra ones. So 100x is equals to 145.454. Just subtract them together. What will you get? You get 144, right? So 1.45. If I just remove this, the point was here. You subtract these two together. So 100x minus x is equals to 99x. 99x is equals to, now you subtract these two as well. Let me just use another color. So subtract these two as well. You'll get 144. Okay, so 144, now let's divide them. 144 over 99 because we want to find the x, right? So the x is actually the answer that we're looking for, the fraction. So simplified form now. So 144 by 4 is, so now let's use the divisibility rule. So 1 plus 4 plus 4, that's 9 for you. And 9 plus 9 is 18 for you when you add those digits, right? So when you see that, 9 and 18 are both in the multiplication of what? Of 9. So if they're both in the multiplication of 9, what can I do? I can just divide above and below by 9. So I will just do that. That's a big number. And that's perfect for me. The bigger the number, the smaller I'll get to simplified version of the fraction. So 144 divided by 9 is 16. Because as you can see, 144, you won't remember if that's in the multiplication of 9 or not, because it's a big number. So we'll directly jump to 16, and 99 is 11. Now we know that 11 is a prime number. Whenever you have a prime number, it can only be divided by itself, right? And 16 cannot be divided by 11. And 11 can only be divided by itself, right? So it means the final answer is 16 over 11. This is also a rule of prime numbers, that they can only be divided by itself. So if you remember these rules, they actually help you in the long run. Okay, now let's do, this is easy. This is easy for, like, if you guys just have to solve this, 25 divided by 32, right? So what will we get here? You get 1 up 25, because that's the smallest number. The next one will be 25 times 2, which is 50. So when you subtract this, what do you get? 7, and then you put a point up, right? And then you put a 0 down. Because remember, whenever you put the decimal point up, what does that mean? After the whole number, there's always a decimal number. You have to remove that to add a 0 at the bottom. So then what is our answer here? And then we put the 2 up. Why? Because it will be 50. We subtract them. We get 20. Now you can just stop here, because 1.2 is one of the answers, which is 1.2 is directly the first one, right? The next one. So 13 divided by 10, you can just move the decimal point. So 13 divided by 10, you move the decimal point inwards, right? You move it inwards. So it will be what? 1.3. 11 over 3. Again, you can quickly divide this. 3 over 11. You don't have to do the whole thing. Once you get, like, the repeating number 1 and 1, once you go to the next number, you can differentiate between them, right? So it's 2 here and 3 here. So you can clearly see that. So you'll be able to make the answer quickly. So you don't have to complete the whole calculation. So that will be 3 here, 9, 2 at the bottom. Now what is 3? 3 is only 1. So just have to do this. 3.66. And the last one, 4 over 9. Okay, everyone. Thank you for your time. I hope you have understood that.